Hello and welcome to TNC episode 13, and I'm joined by recurring guests Perrin and Porcan.
Hello, we are back.
Alright, yeah, back again.
Hello. Porcan's got a new microphone.
I have.
I do not. I have the same one.
I've got the same one as well.
I have the same non-existent built-in microphone.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it is AirPods, so
Yeah,
hopefully
it's better
it's
than
usually.
nothing.
Oh, 200 smackaroonies, so. But anyway, so Micah and Ethan sadly cannot join us at the moment. Probably either sleeping or whatever. Who knows? We'll find out when they wake up, I suppose. But yeah. Anyway, obviously that means I can't really give any of the stats or anything that we usually do because Micah has access to those. So just pretend that literally everyone on Earth listened to the last episode. I'm sure they did.
I'm impressed with those numbers.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
Yeah,
It's so
we
cool
got
to see. It's so cool to see this podcast grow so fast.
yeah, we've got 10 more billion
about,
listeners.
5 million% increase in listeners. It feels great.
That's amazing. That's truly it's one of the greatest achievements of all time, honestly.
I'm so humbled and grateful for this experience.
Yeah, blessed. Hashtag blessed, actually. Might as well make it, clear. But anyway, might as well move on because, like I say, don't have any of the stats. So, stuff we've been doing. I'm going to start with you, Perrin. What have you been up to?
All right, so I haven't been doing a whole lot. I've mostly been doing a bunch of funky projects for school. So one of the things I've been doing is for my graphic design 1 classes, we're working on a recipe booklet. And recipe is in air quotes because my professor encourages us to just kind of do whatever prompt we want to and just interpret it however we feel like it. So I'm doing mine on the ingredients for successful sports branding because
yeah,
I have to make it about sports, or otherwise I'm not going to want to work on it.
That's very
Fair
apparent.
enough.
Basically. So, yes. So I had a good amount of fun working on that. It's been all right. It's been a bit of a slow process, but it's a lot of working with type layout and stuff. It's been pretty helpful. It's been pretty fun. I've also been working on one of the projects we're doing for my typography class is we had to make a cover for a song of our choice. I actually posted this in your Discord server, Sean. I posted my previews of, so I did a cover for Blossom by Porter Robinson, and I was really
that was very cool.
So we spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time talking about being able to strike a balance between getting across the feeling of the song with only type, but also being able to use images in a tasteful way, working in tandem with type. So it was a really, really fun project to work on. Also, I'm in a photography class right now, and we're getting to the end of the semester, so we're going to start doing portraits soon. And I've got a final project in a couple weeks where I have to make a themed set of photos. So I'm going to do a bunch of nature stuff because it's spring. A little bit uninspired, I know, but it's still going to be fun.
I feel like that's the same because whenever it becomes sunny, my music taste completely changes. It's all to summery music. As soon as the sun comes out. Don't know why, but that's just the vibe.
That's relatable. I'm listening to metal all through winter, and then spring comes and it's all nice sort of chill stuff.
The season of depression leaves, and all of a sudden
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why that happens, but it's a vibe, definitely. Yeah. And for once, it's actually sunny. And we've been talking about this just before we started recording, but it's actually sunny here in Scotland and in England today, which is amazing.
Christmas miracle.
It's great. I can literally
Christmas
I
miracle,
can see sun outside my window right now.
Wait, what?
First time ever, I can see some sunlight outside.
Wow. Oh, right. I thought you said that you could see me outside your window. I'm like, what?
He's waiting.
Yeah, we're secretly neighbors.
Yeah, he's got a sniper up in the trees pointing at making sure
I'm looking out the window now. I wonder what that shiny thing was.
Nice.
Oh, dear. Yeah. Nice. Anyway, speaking of Porcan, what have you been working on other than stalking me?
Well, I'm not gonna deny anything, but
Don't worry. No worry. Don't. We might sue you, but don't worry.
no, sue the podcast. That's what I'm saying.
No, don't
sue the podcast.
That's
Yeah.
rule number 1.
Never sue the podcast.
That's rule number
Rule number
one.
one.
Of this
TNC
podcast
does
is
not
don't-
exist.
Yeah, rule number 1 of the podcast is do not sue the podcast itself. Sue the host.
That's
who
a-
said something.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first rule of TNC is that TNC does not exist. The second rule of TNC is that you should have fun, and
Yeah.
this third rule of TNC is that
These rules
don't
are
sue the
sponsored.
whole. Yeah.
These rules are approved by the higher ups at TNC LLC
Yeah,
and
the
organizations
That's a
that
mouthful.
designated this.
That's a lot of words.
Anyway, back
yeah.
to the actual.
Back to the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yes, I don't know if either of you have heard of the band Polyphia. I'm assuming at least one of you has, right?
Yes.
I don't think I have
I know,
actually.
like one song.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, good. So,
Because you posted it in a music VC.
okay, yeah, yeah. So they're like this sort of cool, like progressive sort of guitar band with these really like crazy talented musicians, and they have all these sort of really complex like riffs and stuff, which is really fun to listen to. What I've been doing recently is transcribing a load of their like sort of openings onto piano and learning to play them, which is a struggle, but it's fun. So yeah, I think I
Nice.
posted a
Very
clip
cool.
in your server recently, actually.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that. That was really good.
Thanks.
I like how virtually every single episode now just turns into someone mentioning, "Oh yeah, I shared that in your server."
Your server is the only server, though, that's the thing. It's like the
Our
backbone
server
server, you
is
know?
the server where we go to share our stuff.
Yeah.
No comment. I'm not here to, attack their competition here.
Man. Just
Yeah.
last night, I posted another epic Wii Sports Resort golf shot.
I saw
your
that.
server.
That was amazing. I also liked how your pal Connor was it. He was
Yeah.
hyping you up. That was awesome.
I have to take limits. I haven't
called it
seen
too.
it
Join
yet.
my
told him-
server.
I told him right before I hit it, there's a good chance this is a hole in one, and I immediately made it a hole in one. It was great. One of the highlights of my career.
Yeah.
For
Have you
sure.
peaked though? Would you say that's your peak, or do you think you can go
I
higher?
don't know if it's my peak. I tied
Nah,
the
always
record
climbing.
on that Wii. I tied the record on that Wii. It's my friend's Wii. It's not the one I have back home. But I tied my record on that Wii, which is -20. But my all-time record is -23.
Oh, negative's a good thing.
That's pretty good.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
negative's a good thing. That's
Yeah, golf,
Yeah.
golf,
Golf,
man. The only golf I know about is St Andrews, because I
Man.
have been to St Andrews, the home of
Do
golf.
they have like mini golf in Scotland? Or is that just an American thing?
No,
Yeah,
we
we
have
have
mini
mini golf.
golf.
Okay, because like
Yeah.
it seems like the kind of thing that Americans would just do and consider normal that no one else does.
Oh, it does.
No, we have
Like,
mini
I
golf
can-
thing. Actually, we had recently on the high street where near where I live, we used to have like a kind of center that had the mini golf course, and I remember we went to it once with my friends, and one of the holes when you get it the ball in the hole. It's just, oh god, I had a mini heart attack. It starts blaring at the top of its lungs. Like I will walk 500
It's
miles.
hilarious.
And
incredible.
I genuinely just jumped out of my skin. I felt like I just got sent to the afterlife for a second there. I was actually just shocked.
I mean, hey,
Can
if
it-
I die and go to heaven, the first thing I want to greet me at the pearly gates is that song.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if that should be like your entrance to heaven. Is it like an entrance, like a WWE entrance, where like your favorite song plays?
Ooh. Speaking of WWE
Just a thought.
entrances, I know I'm going way off topic, but I briefly mentioned this in your server like a while ago. Again, but I spent there's a video games club at my school, and one time when we met up, me and my friend Nolan just spent the entire time making goofy custom wrestlers in one of the earlier WWE 2K games, and it was incredible because the character creators in the WWE games get absolutely buck wild. Like you can the way you can like mess with body proportions is like borderline horrific. It's incredible.
I've seen that, yeah, because I watched Critical do that, yeah.
Oh man!
And he's like made goofy characters with that.
That's incredible. There's also a slightly older series, but Monster Factory from the McElroy brothers. They do this all the time for all kinds of games. But anyway, so I made this guy who had like ginormous, like, you can mess with like specifically the shoulders. And so I just made them like gigantic, and so they stick out like there's like a rectangular flesh pauldron that sticks a foot out of his shoulder. It's insane. I gave him bright green hair, and I named him Mossy Doug, and I gave him a very disturbing face.
Mossy Doug.
I think he has.
That is so good.
I forget if I gave him giant thighs and an incredibly thin waist and thin calves, or if it was the other way around. Because either way is really funny.
It's like when people make characters on The Sims, and it's like the most cursed thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, I did that. I also did that once, and I made a guy who looked like the Shock Top logo.
Nice.
Like if you combine the Shock Top logo with Waluigi, it was that man.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite things to do, is to make horrible characters whenever there's a character creator that lets me get crazy.
Especially, it's even better when the game has like cutscenes with your custom character in it, and like everyone else looks normal, and your character's got like broad shoulders, like tiny heads and everything.
Yeah, part of the reason why doing it in WWE is so fun is because then you get to like customize their entrance, their wrestling entrance, and so you can make them do like the goofiest dances or the most dramatic entrances, and have them wave through the crowd. And then if you make more than one monstrosity, you get to see them fight each other. So my friend Nolan made like a very tall, skinny man with bright turquoise hair, and he named him Hatsune Michael. And then they fought each other, and then Hatsune Michael won the series 2-0. And I was so disappointed in my son's performance, but it is what it is, you know. Man, because you just auto said that we don't even like actually need to play, because neither of us really know how. We just know how to do the character creator.
I think that adds to it.
Yeah, it's hilarious to just like let fate run its course and see who wins.
Oh dear, that is amazing. Oh, I love character creators.
I regret not taking video of it, but the next time we play with those characters, I will be sure to take some pictures.
Yeah, definitely. I need to see this now. I've been given all the lore, but now I need to see the actual thing.
Definitely.
This really sounds like a 3 a.m. activity, honestly.
It does.
It was like a 5 p.m. activity right before dinner.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Maybe it's better when you're like just a little bit hungry.
Yeah. You're hangry. Bordering on hangry. Man. But, getting back on topic, trying to steer this back onto the road, because right now we're like... Yeah, that was actually the meme I posted about on Waste Stuff, was how we basically just never talk about the actual topic for like most of the podcast. But anyway, what have I been working on? I released a new project after like how many months? Like half a year? More than half a year? I don't know.
Good long while.
It has been. But I finally released it. I think I talked about it on the podcast like quite a few episodes ago. But it's called the Dead Account Rebrand. Basically, if you're not aware, I have a lot of old accounts that I have deleted over quite a long period of time. And Perrin, being an absolute megamind genius, he suggested, hey, why don't someone rebrand all of those old accounts? And I was like, well... Who wouldn't be better to do it than me? So I went and did it. I thought I would.
You were the Thanos meme. Fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, basically that's what it was. I was like, fine, I'll do it myself. Snap my fingers. But instead of snapping my fingers, I spent like like 4 or 5 months working on this project off and on, because I can't just not do something for like 5 minutes and leave it. I have to like make it incredibly elaborate into like a huge Affinity file that's like almost like
yes.
like half a gig like big now.
The best way to do projects like this, or even just to like get yourself to start designing something, is to trick yourself into doing a project that takes several years, and then have that be the default thing you work on in the background of other things. Basically. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I did with my Giant Football League project.
There you go. There's your design tip for today.
Yes.
Right, okay.
When is Perrin not working on sports branding?
True.
Basically, the only time he stops is when he is here.
I'll stop when I'm dead.
You won't take me alive.
Exactly.
He's like that guy that's like getting dragged away and he's yelling like, "No, they won't take me alive."
No, my sports logos. Can't do this to me.
But so if you're interested in checking it out, it's on my Scratch account and it's on my Behance as well, if you're Scratchiverse, which is probably quite a few people now. So yeah, please check it out. I've spent far too much time on it and I need validation, so please. Man,
who are you without your sweet clout?
Exactly. If I don't have clout, then do I even exist?
That's the most poignant quote R.L. has ever made, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, R.L.'s had some pretty powerful quotes, but my God, that's like a TED Talk.
Exactly.
That there. All I'm saying is give R.L.'y a TED Talk.
Philosophers of our time.
Yeah. To be or not to be. Clout.
To clout or not to clout.
Mm-hmm. True. Very true. But I think we should move on to interesting stuff we've been seeing recently. And I want to start with something incredibly goofy, but also incredibly just wild. And that is the Pentagon leaks. I can't, how do I even, start trying to explain this? Honestly, it sounds like fan fiction. It sounds like something someone's made up, but it's real. Yeah. I guess I'll give the lowdown for people who don't know. If you're unaware, I believe at the start of this week, or maybe just at the end of last week, there was a massive leak of secret government documents from the Pentagon, basically detailing things about the Ukraine war and just overall some intelligence the United States has. Now, that doesn't sound too crazy off the top of its head. We have leaked quite a lot. But two things are crazy about it is it's the biggest leak in Pentagon history, to my knowledge. But the craziest part is the person who leaked it is 21 years old and leaked it on a Minecraft Discord server.
Yes.
Man. Die millennials, SMH.
All they know is charge their phone.
Minecraft Discord.
Leak Pentagon secrets. Actually, 21 years old, that's Gen Z.
Yeah, that's
Gen Z.
That's Gen Z. That's Gen Z, yeah. That's wild. So,
the government
to give a bit more
better than to trust Gen Z with government secrets. Let's be real.
That is hilarious. Right, so to give some more context, he didn't just share it in a Minecraft Discord server. He shared it in 3 different servers. So the first one, the BBC mentioned, is a private one. It had about a dozen members. And basically, from what it seems, he was the oldest of the people in that server. He was kind of seen as the elder of the server. And basically, from what it seems, the way the BBC kind of are saying, or at least what's being implied is, and what for most people are thinking is, it's that essentially he was just trying to make himself look cool in front of everyone else in the server.
Man.
And he got very upset when people didn't take him seriously when he started talking about all this stuff.
Poor guy.
So then he started dropping screenshots, like Mike dropping this stuff in the server, just casually like, oh, here's some Pentagon secrets.
I know. I know. What's the word I'm looking for? I know top secret military documents. I have access to highly sensitive intelligence, and you don't. Get wrecked.
Get wrecked.
Here's
noob.
proof. Oops.
oops, looks like I just dropped all these government secrets.
Oops,
I hate when that happens.
I'll be going to jail for like 50 years.
And then it gets even crazier, though. It gets wilder. This is like the tame stuff. So then, I think what happens next, he goes to a Minecraft Discord server. I believe the Discord server revolved around making a map in Minecraft of the real world. So like making like a map that's based off of Earth. And from what it seems anyway, again, this is all implied. You don't actually know the context of the conversation, but from what it seems, it's basically him getting into arguments with people about like all this stuff about Ukraine and stuff. We don't know the context entirely, but basically he would argue with like these users, and I guess they would claim that he's not telling the truth when he has like all this insider information. So then he just casually drops all this information in the server.
Man.
I mean, I guess he auto wins the argument then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically just trying to win.
He beat the online argument.
Yeah. One cost. Exactly.
Yeah, basically that's what it was. Like
Sean, imagine if you got so fed up with how people don't respect you that you just started leaking secret documents in your own server.
I say like, oh, you know, I don't know what, I've got this amount of money in the bank or something, and so someone says, no, you like, don't, Sean, and then I just say, well, here's my credit card number.
Yeah, try it for yourself.
Man, you just say, yes, you just accidentally like leak some secrets about the royal family or whatever.
I mean, that happens every day, to be fair, with the royal family, but yeah, let's be real. But it doesn't stop there. We're nowhere near done. There's another server, and this one I'm not very familiar with. From what the BBC is saying, it is a server dedicated to a Filipino YouTuber. I don't know who the YouTuber is. Obviously, I'm not Filipino myself. Maybe someone else might know who this YouTuber is, but whatever. And similar idea. Basically, he got into arguments with people, full-on Twitter debates, you know, basically
normal Twitter
meaningless
behavior.
basically casual Twitter behavior, but this guy's armed with actual top secret government information. So he just drops the receipts.
That's not like something people normally do on Twitter. Would not be surprised. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Yeah, Twitter's a pretty wild place.
How much doxing and stuff goes on over there?
Yeah, I suppose
it's only like 2 steps farther, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, how many of them are armed with actual government secrets like that? That's pretty wild.
Man, I'm surprised there aren't like. I mean, I'm sure there are restrictions about like who has access to this, but like you'd think that like they would limit how much access you have to social media if you are possessing such sensitive material.
And what's even stranger, so basically, there's a couple things. They have described what his job was. So from what the government has said, or at least from what the media is saying, he did have reasons to have access to this. He was meant to be supporting certain like functions of the military and stuff. But another part of it was that he did have a background check. So that means they would have, clearly the background check wasn't that good because they didn't find out that he was this out of pocket. And then the other thing is that when he went to work, he wasn't allowed to have a smartphone in the building. Like it was a no smartphone zone because of how highly sensitive this information was and how kind of important his job was. So like, how in the world I want to know is, one, how did he like get these files? Because for example, if you look at the BBC article, there isn't like a picture from what he like took. I assume he must took this at work, but then what did he use to take the photo? That's what I'm curious. Like, did he sneak a phone in? Did he like?
How do you even?
How did he do this?
Even if he didn't use a camera, like I don't think the Pentagon is just going to be like emailing around private information.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be using like WhatsApp and just like WhatsApping each other government secrets. Oh, who knows? Maybe they are. You never know.
Bet the old Pentagon Slack and just start chatting stuff.
Maybe they have their own Discord. We just don't know about.
I would not be surprised if like large government organizations have their own versions of like Discord, because there's no way they're going to trust a third-party company, right?
Who knows? I mean, maybe they're still using MSN Instant Messenger. I don't know. Man. You never know, man. Internet Explorer.
I feel like I'm too young to know what that is.
Yeah. Sorry, this is old people talk.
Okay.
You know.
Man.
You do know what Windows XP is, though, right?
Well,
That was a concerning.
Oh, the
concerning-
way you hesitated. He's
concerningly long
googling it.
pause.
He's googling it.
hang on. Right,
He's
so it's the
googling
one
it.
with the hill.
No way.
I've never
Do
even,
not
like-
be pulling my chain here. Do you know what XP is or not?
It's a version of Windows.
Oh my god. Nah, bro, you googled that. I do not believe it. You just like, oh my god, bruh.
Okay, I'm both a bit too old for Windows XP and also have barely used any Windows products at all, and I still know what it is.
Oh
I mean,
my god.
Like, I've heard of it.
I'm old.
I don't know which
I am
version of
old.
Windows. Like, I knew it was a version of Windows. You know.
Did you know?
Did you?
That was a very
like the fact that
concerning
you
pause.
that dead silence that we had. Like I asked, what's Windows
True.
XP, and there was
There's
just
a
pure
solid, like,
silence
5
for like
seconds.
a solid minute.
Right. No comment. No comment.
It's too late for that. Oh my god.
Man.
Wow. Oh no. Do you know what a BlackBerry is?
Yes.
They grow on bushes. They're quite yummy.
My favorite. Fruit. Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, back to this absurd story with the Pentagon. I mean, just like we've had, like I said this before we started recording. We talked about it a little bit, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, Edward Snowden, you've got competition here, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you did like the Tor. You used like stuff to protect yourself. This guy just went raw, no rubber. Here's some secret documents in a public Discord server.
Man.
You know.
That's
These
just
are
the fact they had
crazy.
to go really out of his way as well to like just win the internet argument. You know.
Yeah.
Like it must have been
I know,
difficult
that's
to
what's
get
wild.
the file
This
in the
guy-
first place.
Like, imagine getting your ego checked so hard that you feel like, yes, this will prove I'm, like, in charge here, posting government
I'll just
secrets.
casually leak some government secrets.
I don't know what's sadder. I don't know what sadder is, like him leaking documents in the public servers because he's had arguments with like random people, or that others like the private one where he just wants to like.
Yeah,
look
at that
cool.
point, he's just...
I don't know what one's more
At
pathetic.
that point, he's just in the spirit of giving. He's just going...
Merry Christmas, everyone. Here's some Pentagon secrets for you
just
all.
starting throwing classified documents in the air and letting them rain down.
Well, I mean, they did come out during kind of the Easter period, so maybe this is like, his idea of
what
an
if it was
Easter
for April
gift or
Fool's?
something.
They're not real documents.
Oh, maybe. Oh, April Fools, but they're
Yeah.
actually real documents.
Man.
April Fools,
US
Pentagon.
April-
You thought you did
well,
your background
okay,
checks.
Okay. How do we know he's not pranking the people in the server? Where he's just like, haha, these are
Well,
these are classified.
the reason we know is
documents,"
because
and
he's been
"Haha,
arrested.
I mean, I know. But like,
because the
true.
government's went and
I'm
said
just-
they're
I'm just
real.
playing devil's advocate for this man who's like, according to the letter of the law, a traitor. Man.
Oh my god, man. I just like when I read it this morning. 'Cause I woke up right, and I had my breakfast, and then I went and checked the news, and I saw this, and I like the more I read the article from the BBC, I was like my eyes just widened more and more. It's like that meme from like Ratatouille where the guys are reading like the newspaper, or like going, "What?" That's what I was like. I was like, "How in the world is this real?"
Oh gosh.
Like it's just insane, man.
Man.
Like how imagine this like headline: guy ruins life because he argued with people on Discord.
That's a little bit of an oversimplification. That can mean anything.
It is a bit.
People do that all the time.
Yeah.
But like,
I suppose.
I think this guy's the first to do that with leaking government intelligence.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild way.
Man.
Like wild, absolutely wild story.
So
yeah.
I forget who said it, but whoever said that parody and reality are becoming increasingly indistinguishable from each other, he was completely
Yeah.
right.
Like no joke. If this was on the Onion, I would be like, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
for
That
real.
sounds like an Onion article. Wild story. But yeah, I thought let's move on anyway to Netflix. It doesn't have the most US users anymore.
Wow.
I want to ask you a question. I assume you haven't read the article yet, right?
I have not,
Or
no.
check. Right, so I want to ask you, who do you think's number one now? Who do you think has the most US users?
I'm gonna guess Hulu.
Disney Plus.
Oh, Disney Plus.
And you think Hulu. It's neither of those. It's
Really?
Amazon Prime.
Oh.
Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime, mate.
Super surprising, but like Amazon Prime is pretty bad, not gonna lie.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like kind of really bad.
I feel like it's kind of cheating because I mean, like everyone who like subscribes to Amazon Prime just gets Prime Video bundled with it. It's not like Netflix.
Oh, true. Are they included?
It's not where it's not like you're signing up for an exclusive service like it is for everything else.
Yeah,
by bundling it with like the normal things you would use for every other Amazon product. That's basically cheating. So
it's like that time like DJ Khaled like bundled his album with like an energy drink so he could beat Tyler the Creator in like the charts, but Tyler the Creator still won. It's like just stupid.
If you have to like do promotions like that, then not only are you kind of cheating, it kind of proves your product is inferior because you kind of have to cheat to get to win, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. But I still thought it was interesting because they're also saying Apple TV Plus, is slowing in growth as well. Which I mean, I'm not too shocked at that because the thing with Apple TV Plus is like I feel like it only really like appeals to obviously people who already have Apple products.
There's a lot of good shows on there though.
It is like I mean, didn't one of their shows get an Oscar as well?
Ted Lasso got a bunch. Ted Lasso is really, really good. It got a bunch of Oscars, I think. And Severance is incredible. It's like one of the most interesting like mystery dramas I've ever seen. It's super, super good. Very excited for whenever the new season comes out. But like, there's good stuff on that platform. The fact that it's like so ingrained in the Apple ecosystem is probably not helping Apple. Like if they were,
it's like Apple Music.
Exactly.
Same idea.
If they were gonna treat it like any other streaming service and just let it run wild like any other streaming service and not force you to need Apple products to use it, then they could do a lot better.
That's just Apple though, isn't it? Like every Apple product is sort of like that.
Like that's
I don't think Apple's going for world dominance with this service. It's just that they wanted a service because it's still extra cash.
Bonus income,
I'd kind of rather they not go for world dominance like other companies I mentioned.
True. Actually, that's the other thing because I've had Disney Plus in the past and I wasn't that impressed with it because really it's kind of it's basically just the only thing it's really worth is like if you want to rewatch the stuff you already like because like all the original stuff's just kind of meh that I've seen. I'm not a big fan.
I haven't watched much of it, but Andor's really good. Mandalorian's pretty good. It's kind of mid.
I thought season 1 was good. I didn't really like the others, though, honestly. Yeah, it gets repetitive.
Basically, because like Baby Yoda got popular, and they were like, "Yo,
all right, we can stop trying. Wrap it up.
All right,
we made something huge.
Yo, make the
pack it up.
Yeah, me make more.
We'll take our $3 billion check."
Yeah, and actually they're going to be like releasing a Moana remake, like a live action remake.
That is the
it came out in 2016
of all time. That's so
it came out
to me. It's because just a pad. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
Perrin's so angry he can't even complete a sentence.
No, I got so angry I knocked my AirPod out of my ear.
He just started like going.
I started putting my hands in my face and I swiped the AirPod right out of my ear. I'm
going to describe what I feel about Moana getting a remake. Actually, just Disney remakes in general.
Should I bring back the bell?
There you go.
Man,
that's my thought on it. That was a guttural scream, by the way.
Man, I thought that was I almost thought that was a sound effect.
That was not a sound effect. That was my voice. That was me actually screaming.
Man, we got to put a volume warning in the description for this one just because of that.
Or don't.
Just troll them. Yeah.
Man, imagine someone's grandma watches this and they hear that and they have a stroke.
That's a very random scenario.
Not stroke, heart attack. I forgot how surprise works.
I mean, your mum watches.
What are you trying to say?
No, not watches. Listens to the episodes.
Well,
your mum listens to the episodes that you're in. So I'm sorry to Perrin's mum.
Apologies in advance.
That wasn't my intention. I was just trying to express my opinion in a primal kind of like simple fashion.
Reject language, return to guttural screams.
based.
Yeah.
Based in screen pilled.
So true.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any other streaming services I really can think of. At least in the UK, I know I know America has Hulu and stuff, but we don't have that here. So.
Not great because it has ads despite you paying for it, which is so stupid.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix does now too. If you get the basic package,
yeah,
you just get ads, which is stupid.
It's just so dumb because the whole point of paying for the service is to avoid the ads.
Yeah,
that's
if you pay for Spotify Premium, the whole thing is that you don't get ads.
Exactly, you don't pay for free Spotify or whatever. That's kind of one of the reasons why Twitter Blue is so stupid, because you're paying for the product, but you still see ads.
Yeah, you buy Twitter Blue and it's half the ads.
Exactly.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, fantastic! I'm glad to know. I still need. I want to see some ads, but just maybe not so many.
Still way more ads than I would like to see, which is 0.
Yeah, I've got a solution to that issue, and that is an ad block. Just use an ad blocker. I mean, don't though. It's illegal. It's technically breaks the law. But do it. But don't sue us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can't.
Just don't sue us. So the podcast.
We can't outright encourage people to break the law technically, but we can say that there is that there are avenues that exist that we do not condone.
uBlock Origin exists. Ads. You shouldn't use it.
You shouldn't use it, but it doesn't exist, and you can find it at this link, but you should never go look at
it. Yeah, so uBlock Origin, it exists. You shouldn't use it, but you can find it on Google Chrome Web Store.
But don't go looking for it.
Firefox add-ons. Don't look for it.
Don't look for it.
But it exists. Okay, I think that covers us. I think we're fine. I think.
Please sue Sean and not the podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, just sue me. I'm fine. You know.
Maybe in the office at this point.
Just, I mean, ever since I started that waste of account, I mean, jeez. The amount of people that have sued me. I'm just, yeah. Like I say, another day at the office. You added this, Perrin, by the way. Apple TV Plus baseball graphics are pretty cool.
That was just like a little
minor
thing. I was watching a baseball game with some friends last night because they do baseball on Friday nights on Apple TV Plus, and just the graphics package they use is really nice. That's about all I wanted to say. It wasn't like a big thing to talk about. I just I saw it and I'm like, hey, this is actually pretty cool. I really like it because it fits very well with Apple's aesthetic, where it's like the normal it's not quite Helvetica, but whatever Apple uses instead of Helvetica on like a black and gray background. It's very similar. Yeah. I think it's San Francisco, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, I think it is something like that.
But it's like their normal typefaces and all the little icons for all the baseball related icons you need. They're all in the same style that Apple would do all the other icons. Like it fits really well as a baseball graphics package, but also it's just Apple's normal style, which I think is pretty fun. Shout out to the team of designers who had to do that for Apple because they did a good job.
I'm trying to. I'm gonna see if I can find. I do have one of Apple's fonts installed. I think. I used it before in a design just for fun. It's SF Pro Text or SF Pro Display or just SF Pro, which I think, like you say, stands for San Francisco.
San Francisco, yeah.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
I hope you enjoy my American accent there.
Oh, I think it's pretty solid, pretty accurate.
Fair enough.
The problem with,
I'm happy with
doing an American accent in air quotes is because there's 5 of them. There's a bunch.
I suppose. Yeah. It's like England. Even England has a ton of different accents.
It's not nearly to the same extent as England. For whatever
England's
reason.
wild. They have so many different accents. Even
the vast majority of Americans,
hang on a minute, what are you saying about England?
England sucks. No, what I was
I leave for 2 minutes.
Yeah, we were starting something while you were off. No, we were talking about accents, and I said England has a lot of different accents, considering how small of an actual country it is by size.
Oh yeah.
The majority of Americans,
each city has basically got
I don't want to say normal, but very bland, kind of just I would describe my accent.
You said it, not us.
I would describe my accent as general American, and most Americans fall under the general American umbrella, But then there's also Southern accents, and there's Is that it? Wait.
Like,
Is it
we just stopped. That was like.
I mean, there's very slight differences in like thickness and like how thick the accent is, or like the way certain words are pronounced if you go like state by state.
Yeah.
Like my mom's from Oklahoma, and she has and she grew up with like a different accent because she lived in Oklahoma compared to someone from Texas or Arkansas, which is pretty interesting. Like there's like only a few like broad categories, and there's like tiny variations regionally between like within those categories, you know?
Yeah.
Like New Yorkers sound slightly different from Bostonians, who sound slightly different from people from Philadelphia, or from Baltimore, for example. But it's all
I see.
generally similar.
Yeah, because here in Scotland, I'd say like there's quite a few accents that people talk about, but the ones that I know, like I've actually heard a fair bit, is like you've got the Fife accent, because that's where I am. I'm in Fife, that's my county, so that's kind of my accent, sort of. It's like a more, not like, it's like just a kind of bog standard Scottish accent. Then you've got your Glaswegian accent, that's Glasgow, which is, you know, that's like the stereotypical one, which everyone says I don't understand what you're saying, like it's like gibberish. That's the Glaswegian accent. And then you've got
the Liverpool
Edinburgh
of Scotland.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I don't
And
know
then
what
you've
that
got
joke
the
means, but
Edinburgh.
I'm sure it's funny.
Yeah, and then the Edinburgh accent, that's the posh accent, because that's like, Edinburgh's like our version of London. It's like the same, like, you know, it's the capital, it's the
where
place
rich
that
people
gets
live.
Yeah. It's extortion to live there, so on and so forth. And I also hate Edinburgh. Sorry to everyone living in Edinburgh, but it sucks. The traffic there is horrendous. They have Costco though, so that's like a point for it. Has IKEA, so that's an extra point. I guess I'll give you those 2 points. But traffic sucks, so that's like minus 20 points or something. But yeah, that's like the posher Scottish accent.
Edinburgh.
And there's other ones as well, but that's the ones I hear the most.
Yeah, I was going to say Edinburgh happens to be the only place in Scotland I've actually ever visited. So.
Of course it was.
The proper, like...
I always go to the common places.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like people from outside the U.S. like coming to America and only going to New York, because like New York is kind of really not a great city. It's really gross. It's really gross in New York, and it's super hard to go anywhere. Like there's so much traffic.
At least Edinburgh. The one thing I'll give it, it has a castle in the freaking middle of it. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. We don't have that in America.
Did you go to Edinburgh Castle, by the way, Porcan?
I think I did. It was like 4 or 5 years ago, so I don't really remember too much, but I think so. Yeah.
I'm personally insulted. I feel like that was an attack on my culture.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I went to this historical castle and I just don't remember anything about it. Don't worry.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what they all
Sure,
say.
buddy. Oh yeah. Also, another thing you added, Perrin, was about Elon Musk. He's planning to make his own AI startup to challenge OpenAI and ChatGPT.
This is really kind of funny to me because it feels like, as per usual, Elon Musk just kind of feels left out. And he's trying to stay cool.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Exactly. Just like...
So, like, what is it? Like, what's the plan?
I get the feeling that Elon Musk feels like he can just start a company and have it instantly be a competitor solely because it just has his name attached to it. And there's a certain degree to which that's kind of true. Like, because he's so rich and famous, like, people are more likely to invest in it or whatever. But also, money isn't the only thing that makes a company succeed, you know? And a lot of Elon Musk's companies are evidence of that.
I mean, his reputation's not exactly the best right now with what's going on with Twitter and that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw this yesterday and it's pretty funny. It is Elon Musk related. He's rebranding Twitter I can't remember what they used to call it, but like Twitter fans. Basically, like, you can subscribe to like a Twitter user, which is funny. But now they're calling it subscriptions. So basically, it's like a Patreon kind of thing where like you get exclusive tweets that only subscribers can get. And
Exclusive
Elon obviously
tweets.
has this.
Of
Exclusive
course
tweets. I'm
Elon
not even
has
joking.
one.
Yes. So now there's 2 major flaws in this. Number 1, you can just screenshot the tweets and then just send the photo of the tweet so anyone can see it, which is Yeah, and then the other problem is, so Elon has his own version of it. He has like his own. He has his own subscription now, and from what people are saying, his plans are to do exclusive memes.
Oh no! You know what?
Just memes.
Okay,
Waste
I
of
think this
taking
is
notes
good
right now.
for society as a whole, and you know why? Because it means nobody except for Elon Musk's biggest fanboys have to actually look at his memes.
That is true.
That is a very
That's
good
actually
thing.
a bit of
Yeah.
an advantage. Actually, have I told you about my dad's work? He's got like this guy at his work that's like a big Tesla fan.
Yeah.
And he does. What's funny is, so my dad, he's trained to like a high level where he can actually work on Teslas and like electric cars, which is a very dangerous thing because obviously there are massive batteries and so on. So this guy who just started at my dad's work, he can't work on Teslas. Never has any interest in actually wanting to do that, like actually wanting to be certified to work on electric vehicles, and yet is absolutely obsessed with Elon Musk and Teslas. It's hilarious. And he does not like him whatsoever, because he's a bit of a mean guy, bit of a goofy goober.
I feel like a large amount of Elon Musk fanboys just kind of aren't good people.
Like, unless to listen to TNC.
Oh, of
Redeeming
course.
quality, yeah.
Of course.
I would never insinuate otherwise.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess we'll have to wait and see, because obviously this is not actually like launched yet, I don't believe, this new startup.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. Who knows, maybe it actually will be interesting. Maybe there'll be some interesting stuff to come out of it.
I have a strong feeling that by the time Elon Musk, this company, is even in the position to compete even at all, the hype around AI is going to significantly fall off. Like, AI is always going to be a thing, and it's always going to, it's going to continue to get better, and it's going to keep being like a tool for different things, but it's not going to like take off and like become fully ingrained into like society, Like it's going to be used, but it's just not at the point where it's good enough to be anything more than a tool to make things slightly easier,
Yeah, I think it'll be like a new tool, but I don't know if it's gonna because at the end of the day, it's the same idea with the smartphone revolution, right? When the iPhone first came out, it was like a snowball effect where stuff just got crazily better really quickly. But then, like, obviously towards like the later 2010s and now, not even much is changing. Phones are basically all the same now. So I think it's the same idea.
Companies got lazy.
Yeah, but I think it's also because there's not much else they can really do now, right? The cameras are the cameras are really good, the screens are really good, the processors are really good. They can pretty much do everything anyone would ever want a smartphone to do. There's not much else to go with it.
Exactly.
That's why people are trying to do like flip phones now, like with like bendable glass and whatever.
And these crazy like
but,
rolling phones and that. All this sort of
that
super weird
too.
stuff that no one would ever really.
I don't know why I'd want that
Can't
though.
believing we're getting late 2000s nostalgia already.
That's wild. Oh, I missed the days of my Motorola Razr.
Man,
I didn't actually have one, but my dad did.
I remember my mom.
So I actually have it in the house still.
Before everyone in my family had an iPhone, like before iPhones were like affordable enough for my family to get them. Both of my parents had Motorola's. I don't remember what model, but it was like the basic Motorola.
Yeah, pretty much everyone did. Everyone either had a Motorola or a Nokia. That was kind of the standard. Some people had Blackberries. That was when Blackberry was like actually
Blackberry
not completely
fell
dead
off,
in the water.
Huh?
They did.
That's weird. It's weird to see.
They wouldn't stop the keyboards. They wouldn't stop those physical keyboards. They were determined.
It's so weird to see like companies that I remember being like staples of culture, like 15 years ago ish, or like 12 years ago, that are just kind of completely gone now. Like Sprint is gone because they got bought out, and I remember Sprint being a major player in the U.S. in terms of like
what's Sprint?
They were a direct competitor with like Verizon and AT&T.
So they were a mobile carrier.
Yeah, they were a mobile carrier, and they were they were one of the biggest ones in the entire United States, and then they got bought out, and they were just immediately gone. And I don't think nobody batted an eye, which is just really weird to me. Just like
we have actually a lot. I just realized in the UK we have a ton of carriers because we have BT, which is British Telecommunications. They actually used to be like a government organization and then were like made private. Then BT bought EE, which is still also its own separate double E. E. Yeah, so then they've
EA Sports, but it's just E.
It's like you're having some sort of like mental breakdown. You just go E. But yeah, so you've got EE. You have what else? You have Free. Literally, just called the company's called Free.
Do they charge money?
Everything's £3. Yeah.
Because otherwise,
you've got
that's false advertising.
Yeah, you've got O2, which is owned by Virgin, which, by the way, Virgin also has its own carrier as well here in the UK. We have, what else do we have? We also have like one that's owned by Carphone Warehouse. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but you can get this. Carphone Warehouse does one.
I mean, there's like
tons of other like
Tesco does one even. It's like
oh yeah, Tesco Mobile, Asda Mobile.
Yeah.
Morrison, doesn't Morrison's have one?
Wait,
I think Morrison's has
Tesco
one.
has
Sainsbury's.
their own mobile carrier?
Yeah, it's a huge one now. It's like, they call it Supermarket Mobile. Yeah, Supermarket Mobile. It's insane.
Oh, God, if Costco
Tesco
came out
Mobile.
with a mobile character, I would carry
I'm not. Wait, I could have sworn even the Co-op used to have one. I could have sworn they used to have one.
Imagine,
yeah.
Imagine if like Costco or IKEA started having a mobile carrier out of nowhere.
That would be insane.
I would switch to
That'd be
IKEA mobile
hilarious.
instantly.
I switched to Costa. I would switch to Costco. That would be a hype. Imagine that. I've got
like
a
IKEA
Costco.
would be fancier, but you have to like build it yourself.
You have to build the tower yourself.
Tower,
Yeah. They ship you one with like very detailed instructions, and you have to build it in your house.
And just a bunch of like metal rods and stuff.
But they provide all. It's very modular. It's very modular.
Yeah.
It's not
But
hard.
what
to
happens is,
assemble,
right,
it just takes a while.
Yeah, and the Costco version, what would happen is, you know that section in Costco where they have like all the big sets of like you have like they have all the big like equipment that's like built up, and it's gotta be like that. They'll have the tower sitting like on like one of the shelves.
Yeah.
You have to like buy the entire tower and then put it in your car and then like put it in your like back garden.
Man.
Yeah.
And if you use it, you get like a
free hot dog.
Yeah, a free hot dog. I mean, the hot dogs at Costco are already basically free. It's insane.
Basically, they're pretty much giving them away. I think we talked about before about how like the
a
old
71-cent hot dog.
Yeah, because like
Because
didn't
the drink
like the
is
old
$69.
CEO
69
Yeah,
cents,
'cause
not dollars.
Yeah. Didn't the old CEO of Costco like threaten the new one when he said,
He
I
said,
want to
"If
like
you
increase the
change
price?" He said,
of the hot dog, I will effing kill you.
that is brutal but amazing. That is awesome.
Incredible.
Costco, you gotta love them.
Costco. I feel like every 2 episodes we keep going on a rant about Costco. It's great.
Actually, Costco, sponsor us, man.
Incredible. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, Costco's CEO, sponsor us, and I won't swear at you or threaten you this time, unlike the other guy. But yeah, I think we should actually move on to the actual topic of this episode, because how many minutes are we in? We're almost an hour
52
in. Not
minutes.
even gotten to it yet. 52. Nice. Yeah, this is going to be a long one, folks. But yeah, our main topic for this week is music, just in general, just music.
Yay.
We basically, Portis suggested we do a music episode, and I was like, okay,
I might as well.
so we're doing a music episode.
Yeah.
So Micah mentioned during, because the plan was for him to turn up, but sadly he hasn't been able to make it. He said we have to have Portis on, because obviously, as we all know, Portis has a keytar. He plays a bit of the piano, to my knowledge. He's a bit of a musician.
Yeah.
So elaborate.
Well, I mean, I was kind of counting on having Micah here, but seeing as that's not possible, I'll just sort of say some things, I guess. But yeah, me and him actually have a load of stuff in common with music. So we use the same sort of we use the same sample library, BBC Symphony Orchestra, for orchestral sounds and things.
Oh yeah,
which is a very cool library. It's free as well, so that's great.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it's got
unless you have a tally license.
True.
So Micah, you better be paying the tele license. I'm just telling you. Watch out.
Yeah, we also use the same DAW, which is like the program you use to sort of make the music, which is another free one, Cakewalk. Very great. I recommend it to everyone.
Oh yeah.
Everyone on Earth. You should all use it. All of you.
Perrin, get Cakewalk.
Okay.
Make sports music.
I have absolutely no skill when it comes to music, so I'll just have it.
You can make you can make your own like WWE intro.
Make my own.
You can make your own WWE intro songs.
It's just the John Cena theme, but I changed the lyrics.
It's just a John Cena like theme just looped on top of each other like every couple seconds. It just starts layering on top of each other. It's like one of them's like the normal John Cena thing, and then the other one's like slightly pitched up. Or
but it's the John Cena theme and Dwayne The Rock Johnson's rap on top of each other at
in
once.
like perfect harmony as well, right?
Like no like mixing of anything, just like
no, not in perfect harmony, just like on top of each
so they're
other.
both in the same key, just like on top of each other, playing at once, and like the tempo is completely off.
It's like when you're like got like tons of tabs open and two tabs are playing like audio and it's just like a garbled mess and you're just like running around trying to find the two tabs making sounds.
But yeah, that's what I'll use Cakewalk for.
Yeah.
Just download it and
So,
put it in my applications folder and never use it and just look at it fondly every once in a while. It's a little
just a reminder for this episode. So yeah, how about you tell us a bit more about Cakewalk, or just like what you're working on, if you've got any like projects or stuff you've got cooking.
Yeah, well, something exciting coming up.
All right.
Maybe.
Oh.
We've had rumors of a collab with me and Micah.
Oh.
Very cool, yeah. So yeah, watch out for that when it drops. I hope we're actually going to do it. I'm not.
Hopefully.
Can't confirm anything yet, but
yeah, we're actually just hyping everyone up for like severe disappointment when it doesn't happen.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do it now. This is motivation.
So I just want to announce here that me and Perrin are going to be collabing on that WWE theme. He'll do the Dwayne Johnson one. I'll do the John Cena one. We'll sing them and then put them on top of each other.
Like your Oriali like Shivers thing.
Oh yeah,
too good.
Oh yeah, listen to Oriali's Ed Sheeran Shivers sus remix.
Man,
it's amazing. I made that in 15 minutes on Audacity. I don't know if you could tell.
Audacity is the best music production software.
But if you can do that in Audacity, imagine what we could put together in Cakewalk.
True.
Think of the possibilities.
Mega sus remix.
No. Uwu sussy. What
3
else? What
challenge
words?
Remix.
Yeah. Bringing back Ed Sheeran from the dead at 3 a.m. challenge. He's not actually dead, but we'll pretend he is, and then he'll come back.
Yeah. Well, that'll be nice.
Yeah. That would be very nice. I actually want to ask, do you see when you have the keytar, do you actually use the keytar like as like an actual guitar, in the sense like you actually like, have it on and use it as a keytar, like a guitar almost, like by holding it?
Yeah.
Or is it more just like an actual piano?
Well,
at this point?
You can kind of do both really, because it's basically just a keyboard but in a really weird shape. So like I have it on my desk most of the time, so I sort of use it as a MIDI controller for writing stuff. But then if I want to perform with it, I can like put it over my shoulder on a strap and, you know, look super cool. Play it like a guitar.
It does. I remember when you first got it. And you sent that photo of yourself with it, and I was like, "Yo, that's hype."
This goes high.
I am now a musician.
Absolutely. I'm hoping to make some covers of some guitar solos soon. So, again, watch out for that.
Oh, hype! Yeah, I'm ready for the absolute wild guitar riffs. I'm waiting for them to just be like full on like metal, just like absolutely shredding that thing.
I don't know if I even like fully understand how keytar works, but it seems like such a cool instrument.
Yeah,
I mean, isn't it?
It's about. It seems less about like the music itself and more just about like the vibe.
It's just a vibe, man. It's a vibe.
No, yeah. The only reason you buy a keytar is because it just looks really cool. Yeah. Like it works the same as any other keyboard, but
oh, I'm sure
it's a keyboard that's in the shape of a
guitar. You don't understand. It's so much cooler.
I'd love what about a guitar in the shape of a grand piano?
That would be so weird and so cool. I don't know how that would even work, but
I'm saying maybe like what's the main? Isn't there like a brand that like makes them? They make motorbikes and they also make pianos. Yamaha, that's it. Yamaha, make a guitar in the shape of a grand piano. I'm sure you can do it. One of your guys over there can figure it out.
I mean,
I'm sure.
You could just
do it, you cowards.
That voice was incredible. But yeah, with in grand pianos, you've got all the strings inside anyway, right? So you could just take the lid off and play it like a guitar if you wanted to.
Oh,
sort
of. But I don't want keys. I don't want keys on the grand piano. I want it to be a guitar, but look like a grand piano, like in the shape of it. You know, no cheating here, Portis. Okay. My God. But yeah, it's a kind of a shame we don't have Micah on. I feel like we could go a bit more into this. So hopefully in a future episode when you guys can converse, we'll do this again.
Yeah, I was going to count on him being here for this, but
a bit more in the weeds.
I want to hear some behind the scenes details.
Yeah, true.
About this project.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll try and get Portis on again at some point, and we'll have him talk to Micah about this. Basically, I want to make it sound like they're actually going to do it instead of just like vaguely saying, they might do it. Will they? Won't they?
Well, yeah. It was a message in your server where I think he just said we should collab, and I said yes, and that's basically all we've done.
It's official now. Yeah. It's happened to my server. So yeah. But yeah, so obviously for the music episode, I thought just kind of do like random kind of music we've been listening to, or just general just music chat really. So I actually wanted to start because I've been listening to Brockhampton again. I don't know if you guys have listened to Brockhampton at all.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. Is that bad?
Nice. Good start. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So basically Brockhampton's kind of like a rap / pop group. They call themselves a boy band, but it's like not the kind of boy band you think of when you think of the term boy band.
Right.
But anyway, so they made like 3 albums in 2017, which is pretty wild, and they're all pretty good. They're called Saturation 1, 2, and 3, and they're just bangers, to be honest. But the reason I was talking about it was because towards their last 2 albums that released last year, it was such a drop off. Their second last album was basically only one of the members doing the entire record, and it was pretty weak in my opinion. And then we got another project the day afterwards that was all the group in that album, and it was basically not even finished. It was completely it just sounds like demos, because they literally were demos, and I was like, bruh, that's a weak ending to such a great group. I don't know if there's any artists you've had that have done the same thing, just fallen off.
Oh, I don't really know for sure. I suppose you can kind of say Owl City just a little bit. The stuff he makes isn't bad, but it's just not nearly as good as his old stuff at this point. I know a lot of people still absolutely love the new stuff he's making, but I just don't think it has nearly as much personality as his old stuff did, because a lot of the songs he made, he released a new album just 3 weeks ago, and it was pretty solid, but none of the songs really stuck for me like they did for his other albums. Even the next most recent album, which was also is also probably just a 7 out of 10, but it's just not as memorable anymore, and a lot of his stuff just doesn't have the same charm that it used to. It is still charming, but it's not charming in the same way. I don't exactly know how to describe it, but his first 3 albums were really, really good. So that 4-year stretch from 2008 2011 ish was incredible for him, because he had Maybe I'm Dreaming and Ocean Eyes, and that was the year he did Sky Sailing as a side project, which is incredible, and then All Things Bright and Beautiful, which is also a really good album. It's those are the golden days of Owl City, I think, and everything he's made since then is just hasn't been especially great, which is a little bit disappointing, but it's not a huge deal. The stuff he makes isn't bad yet. He's only had 1 bad album. The Midsummer Station from 2012 is not that good at all, but I'm still happy he's making music. I just wish it could be a bit more in the same vein as his old stuff. Basically, he was better.
I wish he made better music.
His old style was better. I feel basically what I'm saying. he leans a bit more towards like more rock-ish stuff, which is a bit, which just isn't like, that just isn't really the same style I fell in love with from him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's a bit.
What were you gonna say, Porus? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I feel like that's sort of a similar response to how a lot of people thought the Arctic Monkeys sort of new album release. You know, a lot of people are saying
I was
like,
really disappointed with that.
yeah, but it's
I
like
didn't listen to much
their
Arctic
styles sort of
Monkeys at all.
completely changed. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
I personally enjoyed
right.
it, but yeah.
It's not a bad record, but I think it's a bit forgettable. Because,
Yeah.
like, right, I don't know how you felt about Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, but I really liked that album.
No,
I
yeah,
thought
that
it was a
was
really
that
good
was their
change.
best, I think.
Yeah, I think it's their best album. But a lot of people seem to think it's their worst, but I actually think it's their best album. But anyway. But, like, when they released their next project, when, like, we first got the first single, I was all for it. I was like, yo, this is basically just more Tranquility Base, but, like, more, like, kind of straightforward. Not a problem.
And then there's
But
a
then
lot
when
of it,
they
isn't there?
actually
It's like,
dropped the
yeah.
Yeah, they dropped the record and it was just kind of like, oh, okay. It was just kind of like boring,
Yeah.
really. Like, you just kind of like like it's one of those things where you listen to the record, you take it in when it happens, but as soon as the album finishes, all of it just kind of vanishes from your brain. It's like you never listened to the thing.
I feel like though, if you listen
know?
to it a few more times, it sort of grows on you. You know.
Yeah, maybe. I've only listened to it a few times, but I think it was the same thing with Tranquility Base for me, because like when I first heard it, I didn't care that much for it, but like on repeat listens, it kind of like, oh wow, this actually is really good. But you know, I think that was the same thing for me with the Slow Rush initially when I first heard it in 2020, because obviously like prior to that, I was really into like Currents and Lonerism specifically, which are like I feel like are more immediate. As soon as you hear those two records, they're both like just. They both kind of click or they don't, and that's kind of it. But like for the Slow Rush, it was like initially I was like a bit underwhelmed. I was like, oh, this isn't like Currents, this isn't like Lonerism. But then on repeat listens, it's just one of those things where you kind of realize just how detailed and like texture and more rhythm driven that record is, especially towards like tracks like It Might Be Time and stuff. I mean, the beat on It Might Be Time is just absolutely amazing.
I really
Such
gotta
a great track.
re-listen to that album. It's been a bit since I last listened to
It's
it.
actually
There's some really good tracks on there.
Yeah, I mean, I've the only track I think I don't really care for. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but I think it's just meh. It's probably Glimmer, because Glimmer's like a 2-minute interlude. It's like whatever, but it's still like a vibe. But like other than that, I pretty much like every track on that thing now. Like Breathe Deeper is like such a banger, especially the bass line at the start. I love that bass line.
It's really good.
Yeah, but yeah, it was one of those
things.
things.
Breathe Deeper on the school radio a good amount. There's like the one resident DJ at my school radio who really likes Tame Impala.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, because that's the thing, right? Like, I was listening to Radio 1 a few days ago, which is like, one of the big British radio stations on the BBC. And out of nowhere, I was just kind of idly like doing something. I was like working on something, and then just like out of nowhere, Let It Happen by Tame Impala just starts playing. I'm like, yo, this is like, yeah. It's like that vibe. It's like that thing when just like that one song that you like love is just like, yo, it's on radio, man.
Oh, I think I heard some Porter Robinson on the radio actually the other day.
They did. They played Language. It was the same day they played Tame Impala.
Yeah.
They played
I think
Language,
we must have listened at the same time then, because I think I heard that exact same.
Yeah, I must have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a vibe.
Yeah, I was in the car. It was very unexpected and cool.
Yeah, no, I just came out of nowhere, just like casually, like, oh, Porter Robinson, there you go. Oh, Tame Impala, there you go. And for me as well, because I listened to James Blake a fair bit. They also played James Blake as well at some point. I think on Radio 1 Relax, which is like a more vibey version of Radio 1.
Right.
And that was like, yo, again. Okay, I was like, it's just it's like, it's not that meme of like, was it Leonardo DiCaprio like pointing at the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's like Tame Impala. Yeah.
With my school radio, you can kind of tell one who's DJing and also what day and what time it is, based solely on what songs they're playing.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's actually the same idea with Radio 1. Because throughout the day they play more like what I'd expect a pop radio station to play, like more like just the hit songs, like the most popular stuff. But then like towards like the afternoon and like nighttime, they start playing more like not I don't want to say Tame Impala is not underground. It is a hugely popular band, but I guess in the sense of it's not something that you hear on the radio every single day because they're not that big on radio usually compared to like Ed Sheeran, I Bemoan.
They're popular, but they're not poppy,
Yeah, not as poppy anyway. They're not as like they're not Ed Sheeran or like Taylor Swift who just get on the radio instantaneously.
I haven't actually heard that much new Taylor Swift on the radio at all.
They played Anti-Hero so much.
Anti-Hero. I think Midnight's.
Yeah.
They've played Anti-Hero, but I mean
Swift,
compared to
like usually you only hear her old stuff.
Yeah, because I would say like ever since she released Folklore, ever since then they've just stopped playing a lot of her newer stuff. Yeah. Ever since Folklore, because I have not heard anything from Folklore or Evermore for like years now, and I've not even heard anything from like Midnight's either. And Midnight's is a pretty poppy record. It's not like it's not a folky or country album. It is a full blown like pop record, and yet they don't really play much from it. Like I said, they play Anti-Hero a ton, but they're not playing anything else from it, even though it's a hugely popular record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is interesting, but who knows? But this is the other thing I want to talk about, because obviously we only usually talk about good music, I feel like, on the podcast, but I want to talk about a truly awful album. I'm not talking about Ed Sheeran. All right, we all know I don't like Ed Sheeran. Right, but the thing is, right, the only thing with Ed Sheeran is he still makes things that can be classified as music. It is still technically melodic, right?
That's such a backhanded like insult. Like
yeah,
it's not even
it's technically music.
It's not a compliment. It's not a compliment. Like, congratulations, you made.
Congratulations, this qualifies as music.
Basically, yeah.
This isn't the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. So I've got two albums. One of them is this one's like Ed Sheeran's in a way, but it's worse in a lot of different ways. The instrumental is technically music, but the vocals, that's debatable. So, have you guys ever heard of Nostalgia Critic? I assume you probably have.
I know the name. I'm not super.
I've heard the name as well, but
basically, yeah. I don't watch him myself, but I remember when this like first came out. Basically, to give you the lowdown, he's like a movie reviewer, but he's like he does parodies of like the movies and stuff within his reviews, which is whatever. So
parody in YouTube just feels like such a bygone era.
Yeah,
like I feel like
he's a very old YouTuber. He's an OG.
I don't know, 2012.
Yeah, but imagine this guy still doing it to this day. He's still doing it like to this day, right?
Because he's committed to the bit, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
So for that.
Yeah, but I assume you might have heard of it, but I assume you know what The Wall by Pink Floyd is, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge rock opera. Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, Comfortably Numb, so on and so forth. For me, it's one of my favorite Pink Floyd records. It's a really good record. And as well, it came out with a movie a few years after the album released in the 70s. And I've not seen the movie, but most people kind of say it's a pretty decent movie. It's quite experimental. It's like a mix of animated and live action. It's a very like kind of like I say, really just kind of a unique project. But Nostalgia Critic decides to make a parody of this as a review, but doesn't review the album whatsoever. Basically is making a beat for beat recreation, but imagine it's like Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Oh no.
But without any of the charm. And also imagine he makes entire...
At least The Room is like
charming.
hilariously bad in a charming way. Like the B movie.
Yeah, so it's not charming whatsoever. It's not funny. Well, it's funny, but it's because it's so terrible. I recommend, at least if you want, to look up the video and just watch, like, just scan the video, just like skim it, because it's incomprehensibly bad. Okay. Anyway. He also then releases alongside this a parody album of The Wall by one of the most acclaimed bands ever.
What a genius idea.
And
oh gosh, I googled it and there's multiple 5-star reviews.
Sure.
4, 5, 6, 7.
These people need mental help.
8 5-star reviews. And
See a therapist.
Okay, the one at the bottom is from Dexter Lanyon about a year ago. 5 stars, and the description is, "My dad has bald." And that's it. My dad has bald.
What a ringy endorsement.
Man.
Yeah, Anyway, so yeah, he releases an album, Nostalgia Critics The Wall, and like I say, it's a recreation of the original album, but imagine he sings like parody lyrics mocking The Wall, but he doesn't know what The Wall is. Like he basically completely misses the point of the whole thing. Like, for example, he compares Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, which is about basically how the band, Roger Waters, one of the band members, grew up during the 60s in school in England, which, as many of you may know, was not a very nice time, right?
It wasn't great.
Wasn't great, post-war England and stuff.
Yeah, I actually, for a class I had a couple of years ago, we actually had to write like a short response like about the music video for Another Brick in the Wall, which was really fun.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, it's a great track. It's a great track.
Because for that class we were going through V for Vendetta, and like analyzing V for Vendetta, and so we were just like, oh, there's like common thematic elements here. Go point them out. Have fun. And so we did. And it was a fun exercise, and it's a weird video, but like it's really well done.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So basically the whole song is about how school is, during that time period was pretty rough. So Nostalgia Critic, in his infinite wisdom, says that he should stop complaining because, everyone thinks high school sucks. Coming from the guy who, grew up in American high school during like the 80s or 90s. A very different experience, to say the least. Yeah. But he chalks it up to him just being like, it's just, he's just a whiny loser that doesn't like school. Basically. That's basically the whole process. And imagine that for the entire runtime of this album. That's basically him. It's basically missing the point, the album. And not just that, he can't sing at all. It's basically just like, I'd much rather listen to a cat scream in my ear for like an hour than listen to this ever again. Which, by the way, I did listen to the record because I absolutely just hate myself, it seems. But, now, another thing was, they got Corey Feldman of Slipknot fame on this thing. Right, so he's in the video, doesn't say anything until the very end as like a joke, because during the original movie, basically the main character doesn't say all too much. But he gets to sing a song at the very end. What song do you think he sings?
I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. It's not on The Wall. It's not a track from The Wall.
Oh boy.
Shivered Sus remix.
You're not. You're not actually far off. Yeah, and then the Dwayne Johnson theme on top of it. No, the SpongeBob SquarePants theme.
Why?
Yeah, the SpongeBob. I'm not joking.
As goofy as our responses. What?
Yeah, exactly. It's incomprehensible. It's stupid, and I hate it. It's a bad album. Yeah. Bad. Ooh, yucky. That's my review of the album. Right, and then there's another song. Do you know who Corey Feldman is? Right, Corey Feldman, and you probably know he makes like.
You just said he was a Slipknot member, right?
No, wrong person. It's another guy called Corey, I think.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So this is called Ascension Millennium, and it is truly awful. I'm not even going to describe what it is because I can't describe it. If you're curious, look it up and listen to it. If not, you're saving your ears. I'm not even going to explain it. It's that bad.
Man.
So, but yeah, I just thought I'd talk about some bad music since we already talked about good music. So yeah, I'm just venting at this point. It's just me just like telling you my trauma.
Man.
But yeah. I mean, any other music you want to talk about before we move on to the music segment? Yes, we are still doing the music segment, by the way.
I can't think of anything in particular.
No, yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, like I say, we'll have you back on Portis later in our episodes.
I want to hear more about that. That's like collab there. It seems like a good time.
Yeah. This is how...
we've got to actually do it now.
yeah, you have to do it now.
Too much disappointment if we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, moving on from music to the music segment. I think we should start with you, Perrin.
All right. So there's a new Hozier EP that came out a little under a month ago. It's called Eat Your Young, which is kind of spooky. It features the title track, Eat Your Young, which is
lovely.
Kind of quite disturbing.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because it's about
eating children.
I forget exactly what like time period it was, but there's a really rough point in I don't know if it was during the potato famine, but it was a super rough point in Irish history where everyone was so poor that like this one guy wrote a pamphlet and he was just like, I don't know what to do at this point. Maybe, I don't know, if you're so desperate for money or whatever, you can go sell your children to be cannibalized by rich British people. And he was like kind of serious about it. And so he wrote a song about that. But it's like really well, in typical Hozier style, it's like done really well with like really good like poetic lyrics and everything, and it goes really hard and it feels a lot more upbeat than,
of course it does,
than the lyrics actually are. But like, it's a really good song. And then there's a couple other songs in the EP also. So there's one called All Things End, which is a bit slower. It's really nice. It's probably my least favorite on the album, but it's still really good. And then there's this one called Through Me, and then in parentheses, The Flood. And it goes really hard. It's probably one of my favorite Hozier songs ever. I don't exactly know the symbolism behind it, but it's really, really good. It's got a really, really good drum beat. It's super fun to sing. It's like, it reminds me a bit of his song, which one is it? The one from the opening of Wasteland Baby. I forgot what it's called. Nina Cried Power. It reminds me a little bit of that one in terms of the tone and the beat, but it's really, really, really good. I'm a huge fan. And it's a preview of his upcoming album that's coming out, I think, at the end of the summer. So there's more, little taste of Hozier content now, and then we'll get a new album later down the line. So I'm really excited for that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm sure we'll have you on the podcast again to talk about when it comes out, because I know you're a big Hozier stan. But Portis, what about you? What have you chosen?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about Anomaly, who's a very cool Canadian like electronic jazz producer, which is a very sort of unique style of music that I don't really hear in many places. And he's a keyboard player as well, which is always a good thing, obviously, because keyboard is just the best instrument, objectively.
But is he a guitar player?
I don't think he is, so I guess I'm better.
Yeah, there you go. Portis is officially better.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't really want to 100%. Say anything specific, but his stuff is very cool. You should go check it out. Yeah, it's like
cool. Is there any like specific tracks you'd call out that are like,
well,
people should try, or just kind of in
his
general?
album from 2017? I'm gonna butcher the saying. It's like Metropole, but with like an accent. I think it's French, but I don't speak French, so yeah. But it's a very good album. It's got lots of cool sort of synth stuff, and yeah, it's really nice to listen to anyway. So go check it out.
Fair enough. Cool, fair enough. And I've chosen, and I think both of you know this record pretty well as well, and that is Nurture by Porter Robinson, as we've already mentioned him as well. I mean, I think it's probably one of the best electronic albums I've ever heard.
I'd say it's one of the best albums I've ever heard.
Good album.
Just full stop, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a good album.
Probably my favorite. Probably my favorite album of all time.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece, to be honest. For anyone who doesn't know, it's I guess the best way to explain it, it's kind of like a very optimistic electronic / folk, kind of like folktronica kind of album, because there's a bit of a folky kind of sound to it in a lot of the tracks.
Kind of folky vibes, but it's not really folky in style at all. It's very heavy on the electronic. Like it takes cues from folk music, but it's electronic through and through with the sound.
I feel like the best way to describe it is kind of feels like its own little world. You know, it feels like its own. Like even the way the album starts, it feels like you're being transported to like this alternate universe.
To a friend as it sounds like the feeling of getting a warm hug through VR.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to explain it, actually. Yeah, but
or it feels like fuzzy and happy and warm, but it feels like but it's it's very much electronic.
Yeah, it's just a vibe, man. It's really good. Like I remember when I first heard "Look at the Sky," because like for people who don't know, Porter hasn't really released anything for like 7 years prior to Nurture. So when he dropped, "Look at the Sky," it was like a massive deal. It was a huge deal, and it is such a great track. It's what's great about the album is like it has tracks like "Get Your Wish," "Look at the Sky," and "Musician," "Mirror," and all that have and "Something Comforting," which have like really catchy.
Goes so hard.
Yeah,
Man.
It slaps. It goes so hard.
The first song I had heard from the album at all was "Mirror," and because I think someone played it in Music VC. And then when I was listening to the full album, I started with "Mirror" for whatever reason, just because it was the one that was familiar. But the 3-song stretch of "Mirror," "Something Comforting," and then "Blossom" made me cry the first time I listened to it. It
is a really powerful record. And "Blossom," I mean, it is the cutest song ever made, I think.
I learned recently when I was working on the song cover for it that the reason it's called "Blossom" is because Porter Robinson's girlfriend, who the song is about, forget exactly what her name is, but her name means pear blossom in Japanese, which is really cute.
That is very cute. It's such a wholesome record. Yeah. I feel like because I feel like my music taste a lot of the time like it kind of goes towards more moody music in general, but like with this record, it's just pure, just kind of positive. It's just really a positive record, and I feel like it was a really important record.
Even the sad songs like "Blossom," Blossom feels really positive because it's more just gushing about how much they love each other. Like he loves his girlfriend, which is great.
Yeah, they're actually engaged now as well.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Love to see it.
You love to see it, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's not a bad song on it. I think every track is a massive standout.
Yeah,
like I was recently listening.
Even my least favorite track on it is probably "Mother," and even that one's still really good. It has a really good message, but I just think it's a bit more repetitive and less musically interesting compared to others he has on the album.
I really like it, to be honest. I used to be one of my favorite tracks on it when I first heard the record. I think it's just I like how kind of like bombastic it is.
I can see that.
It's got probably the most bombastic beat on it, but yeah, it's just a good record. I mean, like I say, there's not really a bad track. I really like Dull Scythe 2 now. I've been listening to that a lot more. I love how I think someone described it as Porter Robinson slowly learns music theory, because like the track starts off as being really glitched out and like almost incomprehensible, but then towards like the middle point of the track, it actually turns into this really huge kind of track.
I've really come to like wind tempos the more I think about it.
Oh, wind tempos! Don't tell. Oh my god,
it's so pretty. Like the piano, and the like layered like synth arps on top of each other. It's just so pretty.
I was actually listening to. I think I watched the review for Anthony Fantano about it, and he was talking about wind tempos, and he said about the second half, which is like the piano part.
Yeah.
He says it's like a robot having a religious experience, and I think that's a really good description. Yeah. It's really good. It's just a really. I don't know what's about that piano line on that, like the second part of wind tempos, but it is just so pretty.
It's just so pretty. I keep convincing my brother to try to learn it. Just because I got my brother to listen to the album. Now it's one of his favorites of all time. Yeah. He should listen to me more when it comes to music opinions. I have not recommended an album to him that he has not fallen in love with. Man,
just impeccable music taste.
Almost as if we are basically the same person and have the same taste.
Maybe it's just Corbin on the podcast just now.
Yeah, it's been him the whole time.
Are you in India just now?
No, it would be... What time would it be in India right now? Yeah, it's 9 hours ahead from EST, so it'd be like 8 p.m. Oh, it could be me in India right now. You never know. That's not too bad.
There you go. You never know.
You never know.
And do we know if Portis is actually Portis or not just a bird?
Oh, true.
Because he is like his birds.
I often think that.
Birds are really cool.
They are pretty cool. I remember that meme you sent in the server, my server. It's like the one that's like, I want a little, like, what was it, little pet bird or something?
Oh, that was so cute.
One, yeah. Did you see the one I put in there about Adobe where it's banking off of the what if you wanted to go to heaven but God said blank meme, which is really stupid. But I made it, what if you wanted to buy a hammer but Home Depot said, that'll be $55 a month, and I'm making fun of Adobe.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we need to rant about Adobe more. I think we need to do an episode just like ranting about Adobe, because I just hate them as a company.
I was doing this with some of my design friends I have in my design classes right now, and I was talking about like why I'm such a vehement Affinity stan.
Yeah,
basically, just because.
It's just it's just painful.
I got Affinity V2 recently, by the way.
Nice.
I'm still mostly I like it. I'm mostly using V1 just because the way like some of the things I've made in V1 translate over to when they translate over to V2, some of them are like messed up a little bit. Some of the curves just like don't work all the way, which is a bit disappointing. So I basically use both in tandems. Like whenever I want to use a V2 feature, I'll like copy paste it in, do what I need to do, and bring it back.
Oh, I see.
But yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah,
I still have like V1 installed just in case I need to like use it for whatever. But I've not really touched it since I got V2. Really, I've been pretty happy with it. Must just be luck. I must just be lucky, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it mustn't be, But yeah, I definitely recommend the upgrade though. I think it's definitely worth it. Especially because you get more updates as well, and also get more free stuff as well. Because Seraph just can't stop giving out free stuff.
Exactly,
they're just obsessed with it.
Reason number 4 billion why they're better than Adobe.
yeah. But
if you want something from Adobe, it doesn't matter how small it is, they're gonna charge you $20.
I know. Basically, Adobe will make you pay for literally everything.
Yeah.
Basically. I hate Adobe. Anyway, before I start going on another rant about Adobe, I think we should start trying to wrap up the podcast, because how far are we in now?
It's been a solid hour and a half.
Hour and a half,
I think. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we've done a pretty substantial episode here, I say. I think this is a certified TNC moment where we've just ranted about random stuff that has nothing to do with what we were actually planning on talking about whatsoever.
It's been pretty fun.
Yeah,
the best episodes, doesn't matter what podcast it is, but especially our podcast, because of course this one's the best one ever made. But the best episodes just kind of go wildly off topic just for fun.
Yeah, let's just say TNC fans, you're gonna be eating tonight, I'm telling you.
Now, whenever I listen to one of the longer episodes, I split it up over like 3 days and just listen to
it. You could do what I do and just listen, watch stuff on YouTube and also listen to podcasts at like 1.5 or times 2 speed.
Yeah, could just do that. However you listen, happy you're listening. That's what's important.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, but I think we shall start to, finish up. So my name is Sean.
Perrin.
Porcan. Or whatever else you want to call me, I don't really care. I go by many names.
And where can we find you guys?
Your server.
I'm... Yes, you can find you at Sean's
other than my server.
You can find me on Dribble and Behance and Instagram. And if you really want to look around for my stuff, the sportslogos.net forum. All kinds of places.
Yeah.
Just Google me. Just Google me. You'll probably find me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same, but without the sports logos, pretty much.
Yeah. And you can find me at my server, actually. So that's TazHangout at .versal.app. I'm just going to quickly get the bio link as well, because this is a really bad thing to admit, but I cannot remember off the top of my head if it's bio.link/TNC or not.
TNC.
I believe it is. Yes.
Yeah, it's /TNC.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So you can find all of our links there to our Waystub, our Instagram, and so on, and everything else. And if you want to join the Micah Lindley Discord server, so you can chat about the podcast, just head to discord.micalindley.com, and you can, join in on the fun. But for now, thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Farewell.
See ya.